Hello there, my name is Paul Harvey. I'm a marketing coach and an internet strategist. I was asked by Dorota Owen a couple of days ago if I could put together my thoughts around marketing for your event this week. What I do is I support people in that digital strategy process, which is how to get someone coming into the website in one end and coming out as a customer in the other. And the journey and the path they take to do that. So I have had some experience in the holistic sector. I've done some work, been working with Jock Millinson for Calikalos for a few years, and I've also recently been working with Cortico Ramiro. What has worked for both of those organisations has been a combination of using remarketing on a website and email. So let's explain a little bit what that means. Remarketing is a little piece of code that gets put onto the website itself, and you can use the analytics code or the specific AdWords code. And then Google will collect a list of everybody that visits that site and allow you to advertise back to them. Now this is really powerful because most websites have what's called a bounce rate. Some people come in and they decide to stay or they decide to go. And the percentage that go is called the bounce rate. And both of those particular companies have reasonably good bounce rates, which would employ somewhere around 50%, which means half the people arriving are actually interested in being there. And when you've got quite a good number of people who are actually interested in being there, building a list of the whole group of people means at least half of that list is actually definitely interested in what you're offering. So that has been useful. It allows us to advertise those people and bring them back to the website at a later date. The other thing that has been really useful and very positive is email, and building an email strategy to send emails out on a regular basis, to collect emails off the website using a widget on the website that encourages people to sign up, and then start a communication process with those people through email. Now, I think very few people send enough email. And I know people might put their hands up in horror at that idea that we all get too much email, but you do it with permission. If you ask people, would you like to have more email? As long as your emails are interesting and you put in the effort behind them, they will say yes. If your emails are all sale, 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 then of course they're going to say no. And so that brings me on to the next point, which is how to tune what you do so that you can find more customers. So let's look very quickly at what the situation or the state of play is. We are now living in a multi-connected world or multi-connected society. There are so many gadgets that people are using on an ongoing basis, and there are so many places and channels that they are visiting. It is now no longer clear really how to advertise to people, particularly if you're in a sector like in the holistic sector. So with so much technology going on and so much gadget use, it was supposed to free people. In actual fact, what it's effectively done is enslaved people, because they've now got so much choice. It actually means that they make no choice. And this process has been coined as cognitive overload. And so the only way to break through cognitive overload for anyone in the marketing platform is you've got to find a way of engaging people, keeping them interested, and lifting them out of the noise of everybody else. So that is the key you have to do, and there are a number of ways of going about doing that. One of the primary ways of doing it is to really identify who you want to talk to. And that involves creating what are called avatars. So an avatar is a really clear description of your ideal customer. So an avatar might be Jenny is 44. She was happily married and she's now in the process of probably separating. The children have left home anyway, and they've gone to university and left. There's no grandchildren yet, but she's hopeful. And she's at a point in her life when she's really, really wondering what it's all about. Now, you could go on to develop more about Jenny, like where she goes, what she does, what her interests are. And the more you can develop, the more ideas you can bring into that picture, it allows you very easily to advertise to that person. So you would create probably as many avatars as you want. I wouldn't suggest going beyond 5 if you just started this process. Then it's getting to the use of the idea of no longer trying to sell your workshops or sell space, but to send stories, identify stories or interesting things for people to read and experiences. Give them something that they actually enjoy reading, and then you sell at the bottom of it. So if all of your communication was made up of 80% story or information or something that supports them in their life, then there's every reason that they will continue to read your information or open your emails. Now, so that's the basic principle, is you identify who it's for and you write stories or find stories or get stories from your audience or get stories from other locations. But basically it's about content creation, creating stories that inspire people to stay engaged and involved with you. Now, I mean, you as a holistic communities, you have what everybody needs. They need this to rediscover the beauty of connection, and that is what you have to deliver to them. So that is a very, very simplified version of this. And I can assure you, as much as I've simplified it for this little piece of video, it is a bit of a TARDIS. As you open it up, it does start to get bigger. But the basic principle is decide who you want to sell to, really get a clear picture of them, create stories and interesting content for them, and then spread that out through social media, through email, and on your website. So I hope that is a little snippet of what's possible, and I hope you have a good day discussing marketing. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.